Titans tear through Africa, crushing cities under their colossal feet. Earth's mightiest heroes answer the desperate call to battle. The Titans prove unstoppable, shattering the world's protectors. A hidden island in the sky reveals the dark secret of their origin. In one final gamble, the superheroes twist fate itself to seal the Titans' path forever. The awakening of Titans. The morning sky over Africa looked ordinary, calm, and golden, but beneath that calm a nightmare was about to rise. Without warning, the earth split open outside the Sahara Desert, a shockwave tearing across dunes and villages like the roar of an angry god. From the abyss crawled creatures taller than skyscrapers, their bodies armored with jagged stone, eyes glowing like molten fire. They were Titans, not of myth but of nightmare, giants bred for destruction. Within minutes, the invasion began. Cities shook as one Titan hurled its fist into the streets of Lagos, collapsing entire apartment blocks in a single blow. Another slammed down on Cairo, dragging its claws through ancient monuments, grinding them into dust as if erasing history itself. Soldiers opened fire, unleashing rockets, missiles, and machine guns. Nothing worked. The bullets sparked harmlessly against their hide. Even tank shells only slowed them for seconds before the monsters ripped the armored vehicles apart like tin cans. Panic spread like wildfire. In Nairobi, children screamed as a Titan stomped across a football stadium, the crowd scattering like ants. Helicopters spun across the sky, desperately firing missiles, but one swipe from a Titan's massive arm knocked 3 of them into a fiery spiral. The creatures weren't just strong, they were coordinated. They moved as though answering a silent command, waves of destruction advancing toward Africa's beating hearts, its cities, its people, its future. Across the continent, disaster piled on disaster. Rivers boiled from the Titans' heat. Forests split apart as their enormous bodies tore through them, and entire highways cracked open. Millions fled, but there was nowhere to run. Humanity's defenses fell apart in minutes. The United Nations sent warnings, but communications collapsed as satellites were knocked from orbit. And then came the leader. Rising from the desert chasm was a Titan unlike the rest. Twice as tall, covered in glowing magma scars. It bellowed a roar so powerful windows shattered from Egypt to Ethiopia. This one raised its clawed hand toward the sky, and the others responded like soldiers to a general. Africa wasn't just under attack, it was being conquered. In Johannesburg, terror turned to silence as the largest Titan marched through the city center. The ground split, skyscrapers shook, and dust clouded the air. Families huddled in basements, praying to survive the next second. On the horizon, explosions painted the skyline red. Yet even in this moment of despair, whispers began. Where are the heroes? At a military base outside Nairobi, generals stood frozen over radar screens that showed hundreds of Titan signatures, spreading like wildfire. We can't hold them, one officer muttered, sweat dripping down his brow. Another clenched his fist. If this continues, Africa is finished in hours. The room went silent, everyone knowing there was only one option left. A red alarm flared across the command center. Protocol Omega. The call no one wanted to make. A signal shot into the sky, bouncing across satellites, reaching secret channels hidden from the world. The message was clear. Global priority. Africa requests superhero intervention. Far above Earth, a satellite defense station picked up the call. Deep in space, Iron Man's HUD flashed the emergency code. In New York, Spider-Man froze mid-swing as JRVIS relayed the broadcast. Thor, standing in Asgard's halls, turned his head as the warning echoed across realms. Deep in the ocean, Aquaman heard the desperate cry through Atlantean relays. Even Wonder Woman, training in Themyscira, paused, sword in hand, as the call of war reached her ears. Back in Africa, destruction only grew. Superman arrived first, streaking down like a comet of hope. He slammed into a Titan in Johannesburg, the impact shaking the entire city. The monster staggered, roared, and struck back, hurling him through 5 skyscrapers. Superman rose, jaw set, determination in his eyes. But even his strength faltered against their sheer numbers. For every Titan he pushed back, 3 more advanced. On the ground, Civilians saw the red cape cutting through smoke and fire, and they cheered. Hope flickered, fragile but alive. Yet Superman himself knew the truth. He couldn't hold this line alone. The world needed more. In Lagos, a Titan stomped down on a bridge, collapsing it as thousands screamed below. Out of nowhere, a red and gold streak rocketed in. Iron Man blasted the Titan with missiles, repulsors glowing brighter than the sun. "Okay, Africa," Tony muttered in his suit. "Looks like you've got company." But even he knew two heroes weren't enough. These weren't villains or aliens they'd fought before. These were armies of living mountains. They regenerated wounds, ignored pain, and kept advancing. Tony's HUD lit up with incoming data. More Titans rising across Africa's coast, dozens more preparing to breach inland cities. Superman, blood on his lip, flew beside him. "We can't stop them alone." Tony's reply was sharp. "Then we call on everyone." The military signal was already spreading across the globe, summoning every hero, every guardian, every warrior who could fight. The battle for Africa had only begun, and far away, in secret headquarters, Avengers, Justice League, X-Men, and lone vigilantes all turned their heads toward the cry for help. The Titans had awakened. The Earth's defenders were being summoned. The world would never be the same again. The call answered. The signal spread like lightning. From hidden satellites to mystical realms, from laboratories to underworld fortresses, the cry for help echoed. Africa is under attack. The Titans have risen. They came. In the skies above Nairobi, thunder cracked as Thor descended in a blaze of lightning. Mjolnir spun in his grip, sparking arcs of raw electricity that lit the city brighter than the sun. "By Odin's beard," he growled, eyes narrowing at the sight of a Titan ripping open a skyscraper. "This realm bleeds. Then let it be avenged." His hammer struck the ground, sending a shockwave that toppled the monster back, civilians cheering in stunned disbelief. Beside the lightning, fire streaked. Iron Man soared overhead, drones circling as his repulsors fired non-stop. "All right, giants," Tony quipped over comms. "Time to make this a fair fight." His missile slammed into the Titan's chest, carving molten cracks across its stone armor. On the ground, Wonder Woman emerged from the smoke like a warrior goddess. Her shield deflected falling rubble. Her lasso glowed as she wrapped it around a Titan's ankle and yanked with divine strength, toppling the beast to its knees. "You will not harm them," she declared, her voice echoing with Amazonian fury. Spider-Man swung between collapsing towers, webs firing faster than the eye could follow. He pulled survivors from falling debris, catching a bus midair and flipping it safely onto a bridge. Okay, I signed up for neighborhood villains, not walking volcano dudes," he muttered. Yet his eyes stayed sharp, locking onto a Titan claw about to crush children. A split-second webline yanked the kids clear, and his quip followed. "No squishing the little guys, thanks." From the shadows, Batman was already 2 steps ahead. He'd set up explosive charges across choke points, his gravel voice speaking into comms. "Titans are converging on key structures. Cut them off before they surround us." Explosions rippled through the streets, collapsing overpasses and redirecting the giants into kill zones. Then came the ground-shaking roar. Hulk, the green Goliath, leapt from a distant mountain ridge, smashing into a Titan with such force the shockwave split the pavement for miles. Hulk's fists rained down like meteors, each punch echoing with primal rage. "Hulk smashed big monsters," he roared, lifting the Titan off its feet and slamming it through 2 burning buildings. The battlefield erupted into chaos. Titans fell, roared, and surged again. For every one brought down, another crawled from the earth. Thor's lightning tore through their bodies. Hulk smashed bones into dust. Superman struck with heat vision. Iron Man fired a relentless storm of weapons, and Spider-Man kept saving innocents in the middle of it all. But the Titans adapted. One caught Thor mid-swing, slamming him into the side of a mountain. Another backhanded Iron Man, sending him crashing through skyscrapers before JRVIS stabilized his suit. A third roared, spitting molten energy that melted tanks like wax. Superman swooped in, tackling the beast mid-breath, forcing its jaws shut before it could incinerate thousands. The two locked in combat, fists striking like thunderclaps, each blow shaking the continent itself. Civilians, scattered across rooftops and rubble, looked up in awe. For the first time since the nightmare began, hope wasn't a whisper, it was alive. They saw gods and legends fighting not for glory, but for them. Africa was no longer alone. Wonder Woman's shield clashed with Titan claws, her golden armor gleaming even under the smoke-choked sky. "Hold the line," she shouted, rallying soldiers who had almost given up. Side by side with her, Batman detonated another round of explosives, collapsing rubble onto advancing beasts. But the Titan leader, the colossal magma-scarred general, watched from the distance. Its burning eyes narrowed as it raised one clawed hand, commanding its army forward. Dozens of Titans surged at once, the ground trembling like a heartbeat of war. Iron Man's voice crackled over comms. Guys? Hate to break it to you, but I think round one was just the warm-up." Spider-Man landed beside him, wiping dust from his mask. "Cool. So we're basically fighting the world's worst concert crowd." Thor rose again, lightning sparking around him. "Then we show them what gods and mortals united can do." Superman, hovering above the battlefield, raised his fist high. His voice carried across miles. "Titans, you face Earth's defenders now. You will not win." The heroes braced as the Titan army thundered toward them, skyscrapers shattering, earth cracking, the horizon darkening with dust and fire. The greatest battle Africa had ever seen was about to ignite. The war for humanity had truly begun. The fall of heroes. The battlefield burned. Smoke rose over cities, skies cracked with lightning, and the ground trembled with every Titan's step. Africa had become a war zone, and though the world's mightiest heroes fought with all their strength, the Titans were unlike anything they had faced before. Superman traded blow after blow with the magma-scarred leader, his fists glowing with heat vision. But the Titan's skin absorbed the energy, scars sealing as fast as they split. With one devastating swing, it hurled Superman across Nairobi, sending him crashing into the earth like a fallen star. Thor's hammer roared with storms, lightning tearing holes through 3 Titans at once. For a moment, the battlefield lit up in hope, but the monsters didn't stay down. Their broken bodies twisted, regenerating in seconds. One Titan caught Thor by the leg and smashed him against a mountain ridge until the Thunder God lay motionless in rubble. Iron Man unleashed every weapon his suit carried. Dozens of drones swarmed, unleashing a storm of lasers and missiles. Explosions rocked the sky. Titans staggered, but then molten energy spat from a beast's throat, melting the drones in midair. Another Titan's fist swatted Tony from the sky, his suit sparking, alarms blaring. "Friday," he groaned, coughing blood inside the mask. "This is not going well." Wonder Woman fought with unmatched fury, her blade slicing through Titan hide, her shield deflecting entire buildings hurled at her. But 3 surrounded her at once. She blocked the first strike, parried the second, but the third smashed her into the ground, burying her under tons of debris. Her shield rolled into the dust, its golden shine fading. Spider-Man darted between crumbling towers, saving civilians with every desperate swing. "Move, move, move," he shouted, shoving children from collapsing bridges, pulling people from under rubble. But even he couldn't keep up. A Titan's claw tore through the bridge he stood on, sending him spiraling through fire. His mask cracked, his body battered. He lay gasping, too weak to rise. And then came Hulk. The green monster roared, hurling himself into the Titan army with unstoppable rage. He tore one apart, ripped the arm off another, smashed 2 into the ground so hard the earth quaked. For a moment, it looked like he could turn the tide alone. But the Titan leader stepped forward, twice Hulk's size, glowing with molten fury. It caught Hulk's punch in its massive claw. With a guttural roar, it lifted him and slammed him down with such force the shockwave leveled an entire city block. Hulk didn't rise. The battlefield fell silent, but only for a heartbeat, because then came the screams. The Titans surged, unstoppable now. They ripped through defenses, crushed tanks, and tore cities apart. From Cairo to Lagos, from Nairobi to Johannesburg, Africa's proudest landmarks fell in fire and ash. Entire streets collapsed into molten rivers as the ground split beneath Titan claws. Millions fled, but the monsters gave no mercy. From the smoke, Superman staggered back into the air, blood on his face, cape torn. He tried to rise again, fists clenched, but the Titan leader's claws struck him down, hurling him across the horizon. Thor's hammer lay buried in the ground, silent. Wonder Woman's shield was cracked. Iron Man's suit flickered, barely holding power. Spider-Man dragged himself across rubble, desperate to save just one more life. The heroes had not given up, but they had lost. The Titans roared in triumph. Their leader raised its massive arms, bellowing a sound that shook the heavens. Across Africa, the remaining Titans answered, a chorus of victory as firestorms spread across the land. Africa burned, and as the dust settled, the world watched in horror. News broadcasts went silent. Satellites showed nothing but fire, and billions stared in disbelief at screens filled with Titans ruling over broken cities. For the first time, the superheroes had failed, but even in defeat, the call still echoed. Somewhere in the ruins, a faint voice crackled over surviving comms. This isn't the end. The fight isn't over. The secret above the sky. The world mourned as Africa smoldered under Titan rule. Cities were ruins, millions displaced, and the skies were choked with smoke. The heroes, battered and broken, gathered in a hidden bunker deep in the mountains of Ethiopia, the last safe zone where survivors clung to hope. Superman sat hunched, bruised and silent, his cape torn. Thor leaned heavily on Mjolnir, his face shadowed with shame. Iron Man's armor sparked as technicians tried to repair it. Wonder Woman's shield was cracked but strapped back to her arm. Spider-Man, patched up, stared at his trembling hands, guilt eating at him. Even Hulk, quiet now, sat with his fists clenched, eyes burning. Batman broke the silence. His gravel voice cut through the room like steel. We can't win until we know what we're fighting. Titans don't come from nowhere. Something brought them here. Yeah, Iron Man muttered, wiping blood from his mouth. Stone giants with healing powers, organized like a military? Trust me, that's not evolution. That's design. Doctor Strange stepped forward, cloak swirling. His eyes glowed faintly as he conjured a projection in the air. A map of Earth, wrapped in mystical energy. I've been tracing the source of their emergence. Every Titan rose from a fault line tied to one location, but it's not on Earth's surface. The heroes leaned closer as the map shifted. High above Africa, hidden beyond normal sight, a glowing mass shimmered in the clouds. Strange's voice deepened. An island, a fortress floating above the skies, cloaked by magic and storms. That's where the Titans were born. Spider-Man blinked. Wait, like a secret island in the sky? A floating monster factory? Are you kidding me right now? No joke, Strange replied. It's older than history itself. The Titans are its soldiers, unleashed when its seal was broken. The fall of Africa was just the beginning. If that island remains, the world will follow. Thor gripped his hammer, thunder rumbling faintly above. Then we strike it. Tear this fortress from the heavens. Superman shook his head, his voice calm but firm. We can't rush him blind. We need to know who commands it, and why now. Batman placed a device on the table, its screen flickering with satellite scans. I've been analyzing Strange readings. The island isn't just floating, it's alive. Energy signatures show it feeds off storms, lightning, even the Earth's magnetic field. Whoever controls it wields a power beyond anything we've faced. The room went silent. The weight of the revelation sank in. Finally, Wonder Woman rose, her voice unwavering. Then that is where our fight must go. Africa has already paid the price. If we hesitate, the entire Earth will burn. Hulk slammed his fist against the wall, the stone cracking. Hulk smash island. Spider-Man gave a nervous laugh, though his eyes were steady. Guess we're going skydiving into Titan Central. No pressure. Iron Man's HUD flickered back online, his voice hardening. I'll retrofit the armor for stratosphere assault. We'll need a way up there. This isn't just a fight, it's an invasion in reverse. Doctor Strange's cloak flared, his eyes glowing brighter. Leave that to me. My magic can pierce their veil. But once we arrive, the fortress itself will awaken. This will be no rescue mission. It will be war. The heroes exchanged glances, wounded, exhausted, but determined. The world thought they were broken, finished. Yet in this room, fire burned again. Superman stood tall, his cape torn but his resolve unshaken. Then we go together. For Africa. For Earth. For everyone. Outside, the clouds above the continent twisted with unnatural light. High above them, hidden in storm and shadow, the secret island stirred, its titanic armies waiting, its master watching. The next battle wouldn't be for one city or one nation. It would be for the sky itself. The war above the clouds. The clouds parted like curtains of war as Dr. Strange's portal opened, and the superheroes soared into the storm. Lightning tore across the sky. Thunder roared like drums of doom, and then they saw it, the island. Floating above Africa, bigger than a city, the fortress loomed in the clouds. Black towers stretched into the heavens, pulsing with veins of molten energy. Rivers of lava ran through it, feeding colossal machines carved into the rock. And at its core was a glowing chasm, a swirling portal where energy surged like a heartbeat. Iron Man's scanners lit up instantly. Bingo! That's the engine. That portal is spitting out Titans non-stop. Spider-Man stared wide-eyed. So, it's basically a monster vending machine in the sky. Nice. As they drew closer, the island shook. The Titans knew. From the depths, hundreds of them roared, their eyes blazing, marching to defend their fortress. The air itself trembled as the horde advanced. Thor twirled his hammer, sparks raining. At last, a worthy challenge. Superman's eyes glowed red. This ends today. The battle ignited in the skies. Lightning split the heavens as Thor hurled Mjolnir through rows of Titans, shattering them in bursts of fire. Superman streaked through the battlefield like a crimson meteor, fists cracking bones of stone. Hulk leapt from tower to tower, smashing beasts into rubble. Wonder Woman's lasso blazed golden as she hurled Titans into the abyss below. Iron Man unleashed every weapon his armor carried, missiles and lasers lighting the storm like fireworks. But Batman's voice cut through calms, sharp and controlled. Listen, we can't fight them all forever. That portal is the key. Shut it down and the Titans fall. Dr. Strange raised his hands, runes spinning in the air. Then hold them back. I'll seal the chasm. The heroes rallied. For every Titan that lunged, another was hurled aside. For every giant that roared, a hero answered louder. The island shook under the chaos of gods, soldiers, and legends united. At the core, strange magic clashed with the island's power. The portal screamed, energy lashing out in wild storms. Titans surged harder, desperate to protect it. One nearly reached Strange, but Spider-Man swung in, webbing its eyes. Nope, not today, Rocky. Hulk followed with a bone-shattering punch that sent the monster flying. Strange's voice thundered. Now, I need your power together. The heroes poured everything into the seal. Thor's lightning, Superman's heat vision, Wonder Woman's divine strength, Iron Man's reactors, Hulk's raw fury, all merged with Strange's spell. The sky itself exploded in light. The portal shrieked, its energy twisting, collapsing in on itself. One by one, the Titans froze, their roars fading as cracks spread across their bodies. The army crumbled into dust, their connection severed. The leader, magma-scarred and furious, lunged one last time. But Batman's traps detonated beneath its feet, pinning it down. Superman and Thor struck together, blasting it back into the collapsing chasm. With a final roar, the monster was swallowed into the void as the portal sealed shut. The island groaned, breaking apart in the storm. Strange opened another portal, pulling the heroes clear as the fortress collapsed into the clouds, vanishing forever. Silence followed. The skies cleared. Africa's burning horizon glowed with sunlight for the first time in weeks. On the ground, survivors wept and cheered as the heroes descended, battered but victorious. Spider-Man whispered, almost in disbelief, "We actually did it." Superman looked over the scarred land, his voice steady. "The Titans won't come again. The portal is gone." Wonder Woman lifted her cracked shield. "Africa will rise from this, stronger than before." Iron Man smirked, his armor smoking. "And next time, someone else can handle Sky Islands. I'm retiring from that." Hulk just grinned. Hulk smash good. The heroes stood together, united against the sky, knowing the war was over. The Titans were gone. The Earth was safe. For now.